for students. And then if there are other people that are interested in possibly going into the field or coming into the classes, they can come and they can watch through Twitch. And then that way they're a party to the conversation, but they're not. Oh, my screen sharing has been halted. Just a moment. So it gives the students the opportunity to be in the class, and then if they have friends that are interested or something, but I don't want, I mean this in a nice way. I don't want anyone in there that's not either a student, a past, a present, or a future student.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You know who Stephanie is? She's my granddaughter-in-law.
I think so.
She used Zoom also. So she's the one that has taught me how to use Zoom.
Oh, I love that.
She said today they started having a password because other people started dropping into their meetings.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same issues we've had. I haven't personally had any issues, not at LACCD or Calibri, but I've had issues at the high school with, which is such a weird, and I didn't have any negative people. It was just some of their friends that weren't in class decided they just want to be part of our class. I'm like, it doesn't. First of all, you don't get high school, because that's not what high school is about, you guys, but during the pandemic, people were that bored. They're like, well, we just want to see what you're learning. I'm like, oh, okay. But we didn't have anything inappropriate, but I really had to kick anyone out that wasn't in the class, because it puts the school at risk and all that other stuff. So
got too much time being given to discussion, because the more people you have, the more time discussion consumes,
right,
which is fine for your class, but not for other people.
Right. Oh, no, absolutely. So we're trying to do, this is not my, this is my new norm, if you will. So if we have anyone that asks about something specific, so the things that have been asked about specific, one of them was the dome or the geodesic,
Geodesic. That's how Buckminster Fuller pronounced it.
Okay.
The guy who invented it.
Oh, absolutely. And so I built a PowerPoint that we'll be able to go with as well. And I'm not a big fan of PowerPoints. So here, let me show you what I have. I'm showing the screen like you can see it, and I'm well aware that it's like, hey, class will start soon. But let me go in, and where did I just?
Okay, so do I need to mute myself when you switch over?
No,
Stephanie said I needed to do that. Okay.
Well, you can, but primarily what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that you're covered first, more than anyone, that the information we share in class. Okay, that's interesting. Where did I lost it? I mean, it's here. It's somewhere here.
I don't feel that in my ignorance.
Yeah, no.
Of which there is plenty.
Oh. That's the 3.9. We want 3.16. Let me go to recent. There we are. So no, go ahead.
I have my dog. I'm in my room and I have my dog in here with me.
Oh, that's okay. You'll see Love. She loves to run in. She'll run in and she'll jump up and lick my face. And then I don't know if she knows where the camera is, but then she gets like, it's like she knows someone's watching, but she doesn't know where to look. And then she acts like she's being good. I'm like, girl, you already lost it on the, but so I put Dome Home interview, and I put we're going to open up the Redfin, which is the listing that about the house, so we can see pictures of the house. I put a couple pictures of that. And then Cathedral Dome Geodesic homes. I did. Oh, it's the wrong one then.
Cathedralite. CAT.
Oh no, it's right there. You're right. You're right. I spelled it wrong.
You just tack on an ITE. Whoops. Single L. Bingo.
So we have that, and then we have Buckminster I'm really,
M-I-N-E-R, yes. You type as bad.
well, it looks like oh no, I spelled this one right, but this is the one that has the swiggle. So I don't know what to tell you. So
I don't
a
know how to
couple,
squiggle it.
there's like this little red, there's this little red squiggly underneath it. So this
Oh,
one had it, but this one didn't. And I'm like, that doesn't even
I-
make sense.
yeah, I don't.
But so there's information about his life and then the institute, which I thought was really cool. And then I have some other stuff that students had asked about, but I wanted to, because we're bringing you over from the East Coast. I wanted to be able to give as much opportunity as possible to any chats. I did see in the system that it sold in July, on July 11th of 2019. Does that sound
Yeah,
right?
sounds
Okay.
right.
That sounds right. Did it go for 291?
You know, that's a good question. I don't remember.
Okay.
It was up in that area. Yeah. Yeah, it may have been 291.
Okay. No problem. So I show in, or the system shows it was built in 1982 and it's on 100. I know it's on more than an acre, 1.22
Yeah, it's
acres. I knew that part.
1.2. Yeah, that works. Okay.
Okay.
It
And
was-
so,
It was begun in 82, but it was not, it didn't get a final inspection until 2001 or 2.
okay. And that's cool. So we'll share that information as well. And then, yeah. But I wanted, so there's a couple different students that have been sharing their interest in not just you know, just really eco-friendly and different types of homes that are available and
it
out there.
is.
So,
Super
know.
quiet.
oh, I think we're all fans of puppy dogs here. So we're
Yeah,
good as long
You
as
don't want
you.
to whine.
Uh,
We can avoid it.
oh, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yesterday, was it yesterday? Was I on the phone with you when the dog immediately picked up the squeaker, the squeaky toy, and you're like, for the love of Pete, like nobody grabbed the squeaker toy. She hadn't done that at all. And then the moment I get on the phone, I was like, wah, 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 and I was like, oh, it was Aunt Mona. I talked to Aunt
Oh,
Mona yesterday.
okay. Yeah, I still haven't called her, but I
That's
will.
okay. Oh no,
I
no,
did talk
she's
to Mark. I
okay.
talked to Mark. Yeah, and I told her I would be calling her. Yeah. So he filled me in.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah,
He's
I
such a
just,
nice.
isn't he? He's so sweet.
Yeah.
I think sometimes like when I'm speaking with Cindy and stuff, and she visits and then she'll slow down the speech and then she'll ponder for a moment and then I'm like, oh, maybe she wants to get off the phone. Oh, that reminds me, you know, it's a different pace. It's a different pacing of communication and
Well, it's different in the South.
yeah.
Hi,
So
Kathy. It's
hi,
Stacy.
hi Stacy, how are you?
Hi. I don't mean to interrupt your guys' conversation, but real
You're
quick, I
fine.
know a Zoom hasn't started yet. But I wanted to know because I'm kind of interested in leaning towards the commercial real estate side besides
Yes.
just doing real estate.
Right. Okay.
So I had a question. I think I know the answer, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
So if I get my real estate license, I would have to take another course to do the commercial real estate licensing, correct?
No.
Oh, it's still under the regular? Like if I
It's
would just get my license, it's under the regular licensing?
It totally is. And I'm going
Oh,
to put
okay.
in, I'm going to put a link in chat and it's called Eve
Uh-huh.
Capital. Actually,
Uh-huh.
Stacy, you don't have to tell us
Yes.
where you're located. Are you in Northern California or Southern California?
Southern.
Okay, so Eve Capital's in Southern California. The
Uh-huh.
owner of Eve Capital is really wonderful, and their whole team is wonderful. And what they do is they do training. So you get your
Okay.
license and you can go. But the great thing about Eve Capital is
Mhm.
that here, let me share the screen.
Okay.
The different screen. always sharing a screen, Kathy Gone. They specifically do a lot. They do it all.
Oh, okay.
So it'll say right here, Venice,
Venice.
Koreatown, Mid-City.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then if you go to about them, oh, let me move this. I've got those little screens that come up on Zoom. Meet the team. And so this is the owner right here. And she's wonderful. And it says log in. Hold on just a second. No, we're not logging into anything. Come on, people. But Laura's wonderful. I interviewed her at length like last year, and her assistant might not be. Oh, marketing director. I don't know. I call her assistant, but Ashley had reached out to me and said, hey, would you be interested in having us come and talk to your students? And I was like, I would love to. So we haven't had a chance to have her come in and talk to the students, but now that we're doing these live, you got everyone, now that we're doing these live evening things, she can come in and you guys can ask questions. But I would encourage you to reach out to their company, reach out to their office and ask if you can talk to them about what's available. The fascinating thing about them is commercial is not the same as residential. Residential is pretty much straightforward, but you can work on a commercial deal and be done in like 2 days, or it could take 5 years. Because commercial deals are different. You're talking about a lease, you're talking about a building like with Walgreens. And then is there triple net? What's the situation with the people that are leasing the building? Who's owning the building? Are you guys leasing to buy the building, or are your clients looking to buy the building? And then all of the contracts associated with anybody that's within the building and that kind of stuff. And so she's really great about not only talking to you about what those steps are, but then they have a scale where you come in and get training, and as your time progresses with commercial, your scale swings up above, swings higher with regards to commissions and things. If you know of a better commercial place, let us know. We'll interview them. I wouldn't say I vetted them, but I would say I vetted them, if that makes any sense.
Thank you.
Oh, of course. Also, Hesh looks a lot like my grandfather. And so on my dad's side. So, my mom. But anyway, so it's just kind of interesting. I was like, interesting. Okay. So all that being said, I would check them out and ask if you could talk to them, and then and because they do residential, commercial, and and as of last year, they did commercial through they were building it to be across the nation. They were at, I'm sorry, I have cauliflower on my face. I can feel it. Sorry, guys. It's not a booger, it's a piece of cauliflower. Anyway, so check them out and let them know. And you can even say I'm in a class with Kathy, and then go from there. But let me check my phone and make sure I don't have anybody saying, hey, I don't have the link, because I'm, you guys know I'm good at this kind of stuff. I know that Nancy wanted to be in class, and I have the links in the other classes for them to come in. It's only 6:34. I keep, people sometimes kind of wander in like in a few minutes, but I'm just going to give it like another minute or so, and then we'll have my Aunt Mary visit with you guys, because it's 9:34 there.
Oh my goodness. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I just jumped in. It sounds like you were talking about commercial versus residential, maybe not. But a few weeks ago, I went to the Colibri, gave a Zoom meet and greet with brokers.
Yes.
And someone did ask the difference between, one of them was strictly a commercial broker. And someone asked a question, well, what's the difference? How do you know? And which is always the question I'm asking myself. I have no idea what my niche, audience, my target audience is. But he said something I thought was interesting. I'm wondering if you agree with this. He says, commercial is all about numbers. And he said residential is more or less heart, putting people in homes, looking at the beauty of things. It's sort of a softer, gentler side. And that's my paraphrasing of what he said.
I like your paraphrasing.
That sounds simple.
Yeah. And I kind of thought that I wanted commercial until I heard that. And I'm like, oh no, I really like the beauty of houses and helping people. And, I'm a home stager, certified home stager. So I like all that pretty stuff.
Well, I don't mean to throw you under the bus when I said don't pay a stager. It sounds like you don't have to pay anyway.
I know,
You've got
you said that before.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Me. But one of the things you'll hear me say, and I mean this across the board, I do not want you to be investing. I don't want you to be a nickel and dime to death to the point where you have to close this deal at any measure
Right.
because you have to pay off.
Right.
But that's my intention. But this is what I would like to ask of you. As time progresses, let's get through the classes. I'd like to bring you back in and talk to them about the class about home staging, or we can do that one night and we can let them know that we're bringing in a home stager. We don't have to tell them it's you, because then it could be a surprise. Well, look at that. And then that way you can explain all of the positives and all the benefits to home staging, because I hyper focus on the cost of doing this. And if we, now I don't have a problem paying anybody to do that kind of stuff, but when it comes to like certifications, and then, well, what if we have to do this and that? Like Stacy's saying, do I need to take more classes? No, find a broker that can do commercial or does commercial, and then and find if that's a good fit for you, and then you're in the niche that works best for you. In the same respect, when you go in to interview a broker they think they're hiring you, but you're really hiring them, you're walking in the door saying, I'm interested in doing residential, but I would like to expand in commercial. I already do staging. I already do this. I know what works best in this. Like, I know the right colors, I know the selling colors. I know that there are certain, and I don't want to go any further with it, but I'm sure you are well aware of the things that make the house feel homey immediately when people walk in the door, where I'm thinking of smell and temperature. Those are as an agent, I'm like, as long as it doesn't smell crazy and it doesn't feel musty, so, and the rest of it obviously needs to get resolved as well. But those are really probably because I've had experiences with those two things. But I'd love to have you come in and talk to everybody about not only staging homes, but what makes the difference. Because I know staging does make a difference. And I worked for a company down in downtown Los Angeles that did different types of soft textile rentals. And they usually do events like the Oscars or the Emmys or whatever. And so when you see those spaces where they have these huge tents, and then there's like seating areas and there's all this like really cool stuff. And you're like, who does that? Well, they rent, right? That all of that stuff is rented. And I remembered them talking to me about an event that they did, and each pillow was like $175 to rent. And I'm talking like the 110 was the 18 by 18. And I was like, oh, that is the business. Like, if we're going to get, and then what happened is they rented them and then they returned them because they don't want them. And then they put them on clearance on their website. So they basically had this, but they did for a couple friends of theirs, they helped stage their home and added a few just really beautiful, like imported fabric pillows, and it just changed the atmosphere completely. So I'd love to be able to have you in class. I'll message you because I have anyway, so okay, good. That being said, we are about 4 minutes over. I promised to Aunt Mary that we would get this scooting, but we'll talk more about home staging. So, hey, I appreciate you staying in the class, not going, that lady, she totally is taking my business. I didn't mean that at all. So I'm sorry about that. Oh, let's find the link so that we can get this opened up and ready. So let me open my screen.
Do you want me to start video?
Oh, absolutely. Start video. That'd be great.
Okay.
So let me we'll come back to this stuff.
Hi, Mary. Thank you for coming to talk to us.
Yes. Let's see. I need to get myself a little less off whack.
That's okay.
Way off at the edge. Oh, well.
You're doing great. I'm going to pull up. I can show pictures of your house and a couple other things. So let's do that.
Okay.
So that while you're visiting, we have that opportunity. Let's see if I can't put it to the side. That way we have. Take me a minute. All right, so this, and feel free visit, and yeah, so this is your home.
Okay.
So So give us the history on the property.
Okay. Well, we went to a talk that was given at San Jose City College, probably in the 60s. The talk was given by Buckminster Fuller, and he talked about geodesic domes and how wonderful they are and all the ecological principles and stuff involved. Yeah, this guy. And my husband and I loved what we heard and thought it was really great. And then later, after we moved to Chico, California, we went to the Silver Dollar Fair, and lo and behold, this company, Cathedralite, had set up a dome at the fairgrounds. It didn't have any interior walls. It was just, and it, didn't have any sheetrock or anything. It was just basically triangles, as you can see from the picture. On the shell, the dome shell, is made of triangles that are, ours was 2x4s and plywood. And
Oh, it was made out of 2x4s and plywood, really?
Yep. And we thought it was really cool. And we looked at it some more, and the guy gave us references to go visit a home that was there on the edge of town. And so we did, and people were living in it, and we were lost. We were done. We had to have a dome.
Wow. Okay.
So we located the manufacturer, who was in the hills above Oroville, which is about 20 miles from Chico, where we live, and ordered a dome. There was some planning involved in between, but that was the next step. And so some friends of ours had a big flatbed truck, went up there, loaded it up with triangles and instructions and stuff. And they brought it down and unloaded it in our yard. And we had already, I think, done the foundation. It's a 10-sided building. There are 5 sides are 18, I believe 18 feet across. And then 5 sides are 9 feet across. And you build, as you can see on the photo, there are called what is called riser walls, which is the vertical sides of the dome.
Is that where the French doors are? Is that the side?
Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
And then next to that is a lower riser wall on the 9-foot section. And then if you keep going to that same direction, you'll see another set of doors on another 18-foot wall, and so on. It goes all the way around the building.
So just to make sure that we have the visual, this set of French doors with the 2 dishes above it, is that this interior?
Yes.
Oh, I think it is.
Yeah, that's the front door. Yeah, there's the dish. Right.
Okay.
And it is it has a half a story or 2/3 of a story, I've forgotten what fraction, of second floor. And it also has an opening in the center. Can you use your pointer?
Yeah, right here, right?
Yeah, and you can stand there and look straight up.
That's so cool.
And see all the way to the top of the dome.
Nice.
And we put opening skylights in the top. We put 3 skylights that you could open in the top. You can see that kind of.
Let me see them up here. Oh no.
Yeah, on that original picture you showed.
Oh, let me go back.
It shows the front door. Oh, I thought, yeah, you can kind of see the edges of them there.
Oh, right. Oh, is it right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's another one on the other side.
On the other side. Okay.
Going. other way.
Other way. Oh, on the other
above
way?
The, where the dishes are. You can,
Oh,
yeah.
right above where the dishes are, right above here.
yeah, you can see the edge of another one. And those, we could open those in the summertime
Uh-huh.
and then open windows on the ground floor. And it would just suck all the heat. And we'd do that in the evening after the sun went down. It would suck all the heat out of the building.
Yeah.
It was so cool because in the valley there where Chico is, it gets incredibly hot.
Oh, absolutely. I'm trying to see if I can find one that, no, I don't have any, but you also so how many bedrooms were upstairs?
2 bedrooms upstairs, 1 bedroom downstairs.
And one of the bedrooms, there was a window out into the dome opening?
No. Oh, okay. The 2 upstairs bedrooms have, what's it called? They're sometimes placed directly above the doorway to like hotel rooms and things. Transom windows. You can see that one in this picture, that right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That again vents the bedrooms.
Wow.
Lets the hot, and if you have those other windows in the roof open, you can slurp out hot air like crazy. It's really cool.
I love it.
Yeah. So my dad bought the spiral staircase for us and put it in.
Oh,
And my husband built the railings. He welded that together. We had an enormous amount of help from Kathleen's dad. There was one notorious piece of sheetrock that had to go into the ceiling of the laundry room, which is a little small room. And it had 5 sides. None of them were the same length.
this is the laundry room, right? Off the refrigerator and the built-in china hutch.
No, that's the end of the kitchen.
Oh,
The laundry room is through that door that's next to that corner cabinet.
okay.
Yeah, that's the laundry room. Yeah. And I always said that the house was hell to build and heaven to live in,
Oh,
because there's almost no right angles in the place. And so you have to not only measure length, but what the corners are like, because they're not right angles.
oh, wow.
Yeah. It was really difficult to build. It took us 20 years to build it, partly because we ran out of money and some other things went on in our lives. But then we finished it after 20 years. And we got to live in it for 20 years. So that, I guess that's pretty good.
It is, but there were a lot of positives about the property. When you first bought the property, it had, or did you build a garage with
We built a garage.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a combination walnut and almond orchard. And we took out a bunch of trees to make room for the garage and for the house and for the garden out back. This is the garage. And we built that so that we could store all our tools for building the house. So
And
we built
it
the
is
garage.
on a one. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
It's 1.25 acres. Yeah, roughly. Yeah, and that's a photo from the garden.
Awesome.
We raised two Mustang horses there. You know, we did a lot of good stuff there. It was really fun.
I love it. And then the second floor has the ceiling. Oh, everyone's saying they love the hutch and then a beautiful home.
Well, the thing about the second floor is there's virtually no vertical outside walls. As you can see, the triangles go all the way to the floor. So it limits your furniture arrangement quite a bit. You wind up with quite a bit of low storage. You can kind of see that in the master bedroom.
I'll go back.
Bedroom, it's called. No, this is the guest bedroom.
Guest bedroom, sorry. This is the,
This is the main bedroom, yeah. But you can see that where the window is a vertical wall. And it's actually a right angle with the floor. And that's amazing. And then at the head of the bed, that is also a vertical wall with a right angle to the floor. Behind the photographer is the closet wall, and that's also vertical. And where the door is that you can see on the right, it's just barely sticking out. It was a bifold door. That was the opening to the walkway that goes around that opening upstairs. Yeah, it functions as a hallway, only it's open.
so downstairs in the kitchen, I remember, I have a lot of fond memories in your house. The downstairs, I never thought about there being the wall connected to that was connected to the kitchen not having a backsplash. It never occurred to me.
Yeah, we just never got one put in.
But I mean, even or upper cabinets. It never occurred to me that you didn't have upper cabinets either.
There's no place for them.
Right. But
Now, if you
I go ahead. I'm
if you
sorry.
continue to the left of that octagonal window.
Uh-huh. Let me see if I have another picture.
Okay, yeah, you could, there you go. There's cabinets at that end opposite where the laundry room is, because that's that vertical wall that's 18 feet across.
Oh, where the French doors are, everywhere else the slider. Okay.
Yeah, this one is a slider. So we had three sets of doors into the house. The back door with the slider. Oh, 4 sets of doors. The kitchen door was
Because
just
the kitchen door is
There-
over here. Yeah.
and then the front door with the French doors and the front door with the slider. So there were 4 doors into it. It was kind of interesting when we were
Front door.
still building it and we had subfloor, and I was sweeping, and we didn't have these doors in yet, so those were just openings, and I'm trying to sweep all this flotsam and jetsam from cutting boards and all that stuff out, and I get to the door and it blows back in.
Oh, jeez.
And I thought, oh, the wind's coming in. So I swept it all over to the next door, and it did the same thing. And so on. I finally had to get a dustpan, pick it up, and put it into a garbage can, because the final set of triangles at the very top of the roof had not been installed, so it was open, and it was sucking that air in through all those doors, and
Causing a vacuum effect, so you couldn't get it out.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
That was fun. Yeah. We installed sliding, you can see them above that French door,
Up here?
sliding windows, and those were openable, but they were a waste of time and money. We never, because you'd have to have a ladder to open them, and it was such,
Oh,
so we never did use that feature. So yeah.
that's beautiful. Fun fact, when I was a kid, we used to decorate the Christmas tree right next to the spiral staircase.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'd go up to, now we didn't go to Paradise to get it was on the way to Paradise to get the Christmas trees,
No,
right?
it was up Highway 32, which goes to, what's it called? There's a couple of little towns up there, both of which I can't remember the name of.
That's okay. But we would go and harvest the tree
Mhm.
and bring
Yeah,
it down, and
a wood tree usually.
it was
and-
huge.
And sometimes I would go the day before Christmas and buy the very last big Christmas tree at a Christmas tree lot, if we didn't do that. If we didn't have kids to go do it. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yep, that was very cool. And you could decorate the top of it from the upper level. And then you could also decorate one side of the top of it from the stairs. And it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question. Well, a comment. I was just looking up your house. Marianne, thanks for joining our call. Sorry, I was a few minutes late. I was decided to clean up a little litter on the beach and I got distracted.
I know how that is.
Yeah. This house is pretty big. It says it's like 2,900 square feet or 2,800.
24, I think.
Oh,
But see, it's misleading because that's not all usable space. Because upstairs, you don't have the vertical outside walls.
mm,
So yeah, see, they come sloping down to the floor.
oh, got it. Okay.
Now see, this is the bathroom. This is the upstairs bathroom.
Uh-huh.
Huge bathroom. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it's really a lovely house.
But you can see how the walls come right down to the floor, and they never are vertical. They're never 90 degrees. Now
That's
the one
crazy.
is 90 degrees, and the one where the bathtub is 90 degrees.
Mhm.
And the one that you can't see is 90 degrees. But these triangle assembled walls of the dome itself, you just kind of have to like at the end of the cabinet where the sinks are, you can see I've tucked something in back there.
Oh yeah, a basket or something.
Yeah. And you just have to kind of get the hang of doing that. Yeah. Yeah. But they were huge bathrooms. The downstairs bathroom's also really big. And that's kind of nice. I don't know if you've got the downstairs. There it
I
is.
think here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has a garden window. And Grandma Poe's mirror. Remember Grandma Poe's mirror?
Yeah.
It was behind the buffet.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yep.
Very cool.
So
Yeah.
just so you know, going to see Aunt Mary and Uncle Ray, we would have everybody there. And then at Christmas, we would have water gun fights or water spray bottle
At
fights.
least
It didn't have to
one,
be a
didn't
gun.
we?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so
we used squirt bottles like you squirt
yes.
the cat, like you squirt the cat with,
Yeah.
Yeah. Or laundry or clean with. Yeah.
Or a
That-
hose when somebody's hiding in the bathroom.
Well, Mark hid in the bathroom right around that corner there
Yeah, right here.
where that grab bar is. And he didn't really, I'm not sure whether he was really hiding or really using the facility, but there's a little tiny sliding window back there. And he had been just giving everybody all kinds of wetness through this process. And so somebody stuck a hose in the window and let him have it. I think it may have been Christopher or Chaz. I don't know.
Oh, it was
Anyway.
one of my brothers. I could have sworn it was
Oh.
Uncle Ray, but anyway.
It could have been. I really don't know.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
A lot of good memories in this house, but
Up and down the stairs. Oh, it was
I can
great.
imagine.
yeah,
A
and it
question
doesn't.
about-
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love hearing all this about your family memories there. It's funny because I was researching these. This is you can see in my background. It's my dream to
Yes,
have one as well.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about my grandchildren's memories there and how fun this would be for them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have two questions. One is that what sort of work did you have to do with the land to prepare it for electricity and plumbing and all that stuff? I've got a ton of questions, but that's my
not
first one.
sure
How much
what
did you
you
have to
mean?
do?
Can you be a little more specific?
Well,
we
was your land,
and it's on a concrete foundation, a raised foundation.
Mhm.
It's 10
was it
sides.
prepped already? Was it already set for plumbing, electricity, all those
We
things
did-
that?
We did that. We put in the well. We and our family and friends did it all. We finally hired at the end of the process, we hired someone to do the sheetrock because they needed to have the the things you stand on and stuff. So, but that was the primary professional that we hired. The rest of it was all done by Kathleen's father and
Wow.
Kathleen's grandfather and my father and my husband and I and people from our church. And it was a real community effort. Yeah.
Mm.
And
That's
I
a
don't
beautiful
recall that.
story.
I don't recall any, I just remember being there when I was a kid. I don't remember those things, but standard operating procedure was go down to the county office or the city office, get the permits
Yeah.
to prep and because it was rural, it's actually still rural. If you, and I
It's
do have the
county.
link. Oh,
It's in the county. It's not in the city, it's in the county.
it's in the county and you can't, you know how on Google Maps, you can put the little guy on the street and see it from a street view. It's on a county road. You can't, it doesn't have,
It's on a private road.
oh, it's a private road. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's
okay.
only 3 houses on the road. It was the first one built, and then our 2 neighbors built theirs later.
Okay.
Theirs are called stick-built, regular houses.
Okay.
I have another
Oh.
question. The base
Yeah.
for the bedroom, the second story where the bedrooms are, you said that your relatives helped, Kathleen's father helped build the iron rod, the stairwell.
Oh,
Down?
no, my husband built that.
Your husband
And-
built that.
And Kathleen's uncle Leonard helped him, his brother, my husband's.
Beautiful.
My dad purchased the spiral staircase and had someone install it
That's
from
beautiful.
the iron company or something. Yeah.
Did the second floor though come with the kit that you got? And they
No.
built the,
No, the only
Oh,
thing that came with
wow.
the kit was the dome itself.
oh, wow.
The
Wow.
riser walls, like where these French doors are, the
Gotcha.
vertical riser walls, those were all add-ons later.
Gotcha.
The dome itself, the external dome, is the only thing that came in the kit.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did it come with the siding and everything?
Oh, no,
No?
no.
Just the,
Really?
I don't know, the frame?
The kit was made of 2x4s,
Uh-huh.
triangles made of 2x4s, and then plywood attached
Mhm.
with glue and nails, I guess. Yeah. And then after we got it to the house, it was assembled with bolts in between.
Oh. Bolted,
And then
okay.
one had to be lifted up there and put on. And I've forgotten how they did that. I don't know if we rented part of the time I wasn't home, I was at work, and I would come home and wonderful things would have happened. It's so cool. Yeah.
Good place
So
to be.
cool.
We lived in it long before it was finished. We lived in it when it had sheetrock on one side of each wall, and it had plywood subfloor. We lived in it like that for several years.
Mm-hmm.
County didn't like it much, but we did it anyway.
Oh, so just between us, did you have to get permits eventually?
Oh, we got permits at the
Oh, you
beginning.
did, okay.
Yeah. We got permits for everything. We got permits for the well, for the septic, for
Cool.
the plumbing, for the electrical, for the final. Yeah, we had permits for everything.
So how many people thought, what in the heck are you doing when you started this project?
Well, we were out in the country, so they pretty much didn't notice, I don't think. But
Mhm.
there was one other dome house at the edge of, on another edge of town. So we weren't the only one.
Okay.
And there was one in Corning, which is a little town on Highway 5 north of Chico. And there was some in Paradise, but I'm sure they burned down.
Mm.
Kathleen's Aunt Mona lives in Mississippi, right on the Gulf Coast. And they get hurricanes down there. And she said they have domes down there, and they're the only thing left standing after the hurricanes a lot of times, because the wind can't get under the eaves. There's really no eaves. So that was pretty cool. They are very
Beautiful.
cheap to heat and cool, especially if you have opening skylights. We had the front of the house where the French doors are faces south. So those two porches that you see there, the one that you can see real well where the dishes are, and then if you go to the left, you'll see another porch, and that also has sliding doors, or I've forgotten now when the picture was taken. Later it got French doors too. Anyway, so basically the small wall in between faced dead south, and then they faced as near south as they could. And that was an excellent wintertime heating system. That would keep us good and warm if it was a sunny day. We heated it with a wood stove, but when we finished it, we took the wood stove out and put in a regular gas heater. So,
What sort of maintenance issues have you had to deal with? Problems with leaking roofs, or, I mean.
No, it didn't. Some people have a problem with that, but we never did. And we thought we might, but if you seal the valleys real well, we never did have leaking. It was very cool.
So beautiful.
What else?
Usually around the skylights, the weather, there's a dome down here in Southern California that has leaks that are, and they can't figure it out, but you have to, it's a mathematical equation
Really
to
hard
figure
to
out
find.
where the water, yeah.
It run down from here to yonder. We never did. The original people, we had roofers put the roof on, because we tried to do it ourselves, and every time I would climb the ladder to try to help, I would have to pee. And I have to go down and go to the bathroom and come back up. As I get back up there, I'd have to pee again. And the problem was I just couldn't be up there. I was too scared.
That's
It
awesome.
literally was scaring it out of me. So we hired a roofing company to put on the roof. And it is a composition roof because of the fire potential in the valley. But it was wonderful. They did such a good job, and they were one of the cheaper companies we found. But we had good recommendations from a guy that built houses, and boy, they did a great job. And it never did leak, and it didn't leak around the skylights either. We put goop on there, and they didn't leak.
Anything different that you do in hindsight that you didn't do then?
I would never build another one. It was extremely difficult to build. Part of the difficulty was the financial and job related stuff, that had nothing to do with the dome that went on. But we ran out of money, and it just sat there for quite a while. It just took and that's part of the reason it took so long to build it. But it is difficult to build. It just is. If I was going to build another one, I would hire a contractor to do the whole thing. Either that, or I wouldn't build that kind of house. It was very hard work, very difficult. Yeah, but it was heaven to live in. It really was. Even when we just had sheetrock on one side of each wall, and we had plywood subfloor, it was pretty nice to live in even then, because we had a wood burning stove. It was kind of funny. I used to sell Avon, and some of my kind of well-to-do Avon customers were complaining about the cost of electricity going up so high because they had all electric houses. And I'd go in their houses to show them Avon, and it would be cold in their houses, these expensive, fancy houses. And because they didn't want to pay for all that electricity. And I had left my house all nice and snugly warm from my wood stove. We used the wood from the trees that we cut down for a long time. And that kept us warm. It was great. We were poor, but we were warm. Yeah.
It sounds like you were wealthy, because the wealthy people are usually the warm ones.
But we definitely were not wealthy. Yeah, far from it.
So cool.
A lot of these pieces of furniture in the house were antiques from various places.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Where the TV is in the picture is where the wood stove was.
Mm.
Yeah. Yep, this was all finished and nice and ready to sell. It was the cleanest it had ever been.
That usually happens.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well, does anyone, Aunt Mary, I'd love to keep you on forever, but I know it's almost 10:15 there, so.
10:15.
Oh,
Anybody
wow.
more questions? I'm fine with hanging out and wasting your time if you want.
Oh, you're not wasting your time.
anybody's time.
Not at
No.
all. You've
So-
inspired me.
Absolutely.
Yes, Sonia, I'm with you.
Okay, Nancy, we're on.
I know. We're going to build a dome community.
Exactly.
There you go. There you go.
Dome pod.
There you
I'll
go.
share
Super
with you what I'm thinking. I'd love to, Nancy.
Okay, let's brainstorm. Well, dome storm.
The factory,
Storm, I love it.
can you still hear me?
Yeah.
The factory that we bought the triangles from is no longer in business. It's now a grocery store, I think, up on Highway 70. But I think there's still a factory in Santa Cruz area.
Huh, I'll have to look it up. I live in Santa Cruz.
I don't know that. So yeah, so that's, yeah, I would recommend that you visit, visit some domes in your area, and yeah, they're very cool.
Also, Buckminster
Really
Fuller
cool.
Institute. I bet you the Institute
Yes.
would be able to give more
Yeah.
information. So I have that in the, oh wow, look at that. That's amazing. Sorry, the screen is.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. He
that-
Oh my gosh.
chose the triangles
Whoa, that is so
Because-
cool.
Amazing.
because the bees use them for their
Sure.
hive. And he looked at building with triangles because the bees were so efficient. Yeah, so it was patterned after the way the bees build their house. Thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely.
So interesting.
Nice.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, Kathleen, I think we're done.
Okay.
Are these two ladies the only students you have tonight?
Oh, we have a whopping 8 people in here. We've got Nancy, Sonia, Stacy, Erica, and iPhone, and Carolina. I don't know who iPhone is, but I'm not worried about. Oh, that's you. No, it's not. Because it says Aunt Marianne. It doesn't say Aunt Marianne. But we have one person on that's in on their phone, which is great. But
Okay.
so out of 200 some odd students, you did great. This is a really high percentage.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, it's been fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. I hope you come back. Thank you.
you.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Cool.
So how do I
Love it.
get out of this? Do you shut?
You know, if you'd like, I can kick you out.
Kick me out, please. Thank you. I love you.
Love you too. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
She's
Oh
doing
my
great,
God.
Kathleen. I'm pretty sure she doesn't do Zoom that much, huh?
No, well, no, she doesn't. And the sweet thing is she said, oh, I learned how to Zoom because she has a standard poodle, and whoever pet sits the dog has it so that she can zoom in to check on the animals.
Oh, how
wow.
funny.
What I
How
thought was
funny.
the sweetest thing. And so, yeah, but I'm so glad that you guys had said something to me about asking her or talking about the dome house, because the last time I spoke to her was 4 years ago and she was still living in Chico. And so then I messaged her on social media. I'm like, oh, Harry. And she's like, well, I don't know what time. It was probably like about this time when I messaged her. And she's like, oh, well, it's like 10 o'clock or something. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me
Oh,
know when you're
bless her
back in
heart.
town. I thought she was on vacation. And she's like, Kathy, we moved. And I was like, oh, and then she called me and she apologized. Like, I'm so sorry I didn't tell you that we moved. And I was like, I'm sorry that I put my head down to finish college, to finish this degree and put my head up. But she grew up with my mom. She knows we're all the same way. Not her. She married into the family. She brought the normal in. Like we were all, she married my mom's brother. And so she understands the way we think. But that being said, unfortunately, he passed unexpectedly and then the Paradise Fire. So that she's had a lot of those kind of things. But the sweetest person you'd ever meet, very logical about things. Well, 2 + 2 is 4, Kathy. Then we should probably, just wonderful. But I'm so glad. I know it's at 7:20. Let me just run over a few other things that we were going to talk about, if that's okay. But if you're not feeling up to it, feel free to jump, because I know a lot of people came in for the dome conversation, and we can talk about, but I did want to give you guys the opportunity. The Buckminster Fuller is the person that actually shared about this architecture, and that's when my uncle and my aunt were like, okay. And this happened at San Jose, California, the San Jose State something. And then they saw, and just to kind of reiterate what she already said, then they went to a fair locally where they were, and unfortunately everything was going great. They moved to Chico, they bought the land, they started building the dome, and then there was financial concerns in California, and job stability became an issue. And then it turned into a 2-income household down to a 1-income household, and they just kept pushing forward and pushing forward, and so they just kept on making it happen. And so when she says that the family came together, that I don't know if that's something that people still do, but in our family, that's something we still do. Oh, somebody's building a house, somebody needs help with their house. Okay, well, I can go up next weekend. And that's just kind of the way our family dynamic was. So when she shared with me, my dad helped, I'm like, did he? And then I'm like, we spent a lot of summers there. And I was thinking, I was always in the pool. They had this big DIY pool, like when you're like 4 or 5 or 6 years old, you're not thinking, oh, hey, we're all the adults. You're thinking, this is an awesome pool, and I've got it with my brothers and my cousins, and like and I think of it as a water gun fight. But the reality was, I don't know that any of us had enough money to buy water guns. I think we really did have spray bottles. and I think they sold us on the spray bottles because they really shoot further than the water gun, and you don't have to keep filling them up. So and my Aunt Mary, she was one of the top Avon sellers, and it never occurred to me that was their supplemental income. You know what I mean? Like these things, as you get older and you start realizing, when your mom goes, hey, I've got $20, and you're like, wow, she's got $20. You're not thinking your mom just told you that's her last $20, and you don't know when that's her last $20 for a week and a half. And that's why we're having chili again tonight, or why we're having, clam chowder, or mashed potatoes and gravy or whatever. But yeah. So all that being said, so as time progresses, we're going to continue to have people that come in, especially in the things that you guys are interested in, because again, it's taking things out of theory and bringing them into reality, because I want you to have those opportunities and to be able to glean off of people and why they bought them.
Do you have people who are into investing, investment properties? And
Yes, I messaged Raymond. Let me follow up with him, because he's fast. That guy's fascinating. Follow up with Raymond, and then also following up with Laura, because Laura, the owner of Deep Capital, because she's not just because she's the owner, but she'll be able to glean. We'll be able to glean information from her with regards to her clientele, because her clientele is mostly investors and people
Okay,
that
great.
moved away from, people that moved away from investing in rental properties and things, because during the pandemic you couldn't get rents. So then they
That's
were
right.
they transitioned over to buildings where Walgreens and CVS's and other things like that, because pharmaceuticals, not necessarily investing in pharmaceutical as much as investing in the buildings where people are going to have to go get their flu shot, or, you know, so it's interesting that, yeah, for sure. Any and everybody I can help you guys with. Yeah.
Is that an area that we'll talk about as projecting? Like what's going to happen in the future? Because that's very interesting what you just said. It's like not investing in like commercial property per se, but something else. How do we
Investing in,
know
yeah,
what's coming up the
commercial.
pike?
We don't, I mean, I don't personally know. That was something Laura shared with me that she had. And the thing is, because her clientele are the ones, I don't have to share this right now, because her clientele are the ones that that are looking at the horizon or are on the cutting edge, and they are the ones rubbing elbows with the people that are the people that are the move. My mom would call them the movers and the shakers,
Right.
you know, like making it happen. That's the only reason I know that, is because she shared with us that people came to her and said, okay, we're liquidating these apartment complexes because they're now a
Ain't gonna
liability. They're
happen.
no longer, they're no longer an asset. And it wasn't that they owed money on these multi-unit, multi-million-dollar properties. It was the fact that no movement of money was coming in. And so the overhead, if 25% of the money coming in is going to pay for the property manager and pay for the maintenance, all this other stuff, then 25% of the monies that were coming in are still going out. So how do we stop the bleeding, if you will, right? Because you're financially at that point bleeding the reserves. And of course you put money away for a rainy day, but when it's still raining 2 years later, you know, the expectation
Right.
is 6 months or a year. It's not 2 or 3 years. You know, you go with the Dave Ramsey of it all, and he's saying have enough money set aside, make sure you have at least 1,000, and that's your first emergency fund, and then go from there. But thinking about it logically, I mean, I just received the email last week that said take anything off of syllabi, and of course this is for the community college, but take anything off the syllabi that says anything about wearing a mask, or don't come if you don't, like, we had all that stuff written into it,
Right.
every nook and cranny. They're like, why you scrub everything, make sure that there isn't anything showing any a concern about pandemic and like things were before. Okay, I totally get it. For those of you that need to go off, I totally understand it. Absolutely. Thanks,
Thank you
man.
very much. That was
Oh my
awesome.
I love it
It
too.
really was.
I'm glad you guys are happy with that stuff. She's a
Wonderful.
kick. Oh, absolutely. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We have, so we were talking, Stacy was talking in class at the end, and she was asking about life estates. And life estates, the information can be found in Unit 2 of the Principles book on page 59, and we'll go over that information. But so what I wanted to share with you, and we can go over, or we can have it even play for us, is Law and Lumber explains life estates and how Tiger Woods put his property with his children as the beneficiaries. I call it beneficiaries, beneficiaries. And how he has a life estate on the property himself, but the title is held as he has a life estate, but for his life, or if the trust wants to sell it, but the title to the trust is with his children, and they are the beneficiaries. And I thought that this was the best explanation of a life estate. And we can either go watch it together. It's like a minute and a half. But part of the reason I wanted to share this information with you is it's hard to explain this information without having a personal experience with it, or having where you can put your hand on the information. And it just so happens, because Tiger Woods and his previous girlfriend are no longer together, and the lawsuit that she's bringing against the trust, the family trust associated with her being able to live on the property for a period of time, is why how he has the property set up to protect him, and not only protect him, but it's set up in such a manner that the title is under the trust and the life estate is under his name. And of course, this is a tax advantage, but they have it split up so that if anyone comes after Tiger Woods or wants to sue him or something, it protects the property from being taken, because he only has the right to live there for his life. And when we talked about this in the principles book, we didn't have an example. And so this example is really good. Law and Lumber, I don't know Rob's last name. I'm calling him Rob like he's my bestie, but he's just an attorney on YouTube that got really big because he broke down an example. Somebody had misconstrued some information in a very large salacious lawsuit that was going on, and he does law and he does specialty woods and things. And so he actually did a video on how what is being presented couldn't have happened in this kind of criminal like defamation case. And he did a video that was like, this is why this doesn't work, and he showed the grain of the wood and different things, and he blew up. He's only been on like YouTube for like 6 months or whatever, but he's a family law. He does family law and divorces and stuff. And so he knows life estates. He understands estate planning tactics and tax advantages that families will take, and he helps write them. So it's fascinating to hear it from the attorney's point of view, because the attorney's explaining like, this is how Tiger, and the thing is, it's Tiger Woods. So like, it's somebody that you're like, oh, I know who that person is, like even if it's at a distance. And so I have that in here to explain to you guys, but life estates can be explained by me. But I'm telling you right now, the way he explains Tiger Woods' life estate and how they have that set up and how he's protecting, not only he gets the bundle of rights, he just doesn't have title anymore. So he gets to live his best life, and he gets to allow people on his property and also not on his property. And that's the concern with the person that he was in a romantic relationship with prior. She had an NDA that she signed, but now that they're no longer in the relationship they were in previously, she doesn't have rights to the property. And so somebody, an attorney, must have told her to sue the trust in order to do any of the things that she wanted to do, which is kind of fascinating as well. But there's the protection that was built into that property, that his children are the only beneficiaries of the property, causes this to be a like if you look it up on People Magazine or TMZ or whatever, it's very salacious. It's very much so like there might have been some concern with maybe treating the person inappropriately or something along those lines. But the reality of the situation is whatever they agreed to before and how it was ended is not associated with this presentation of what a life estate. So I wanted to be able to give you guys the opportunity to go check that information out. So I have here that he starts out by explaining it 45 minutes in 53 seconds. And then he goes further to explain the summary of the notes of how that life estate works at minute 48 and 50 seconds. So being able to break that down, I wanted to be able to give you guys that opportunity for that. The other thing, and I'm weary of your time. So if you need to go, that's okay. We were talking about warranties, and we were talking about the difference between we were talking about home warranties. Oops. And then at one point I was like, oh no, are you talking about a warranty deed? So I wanted to be able to put both of those things in here. But a home warranty in the book, it says under risk management, if I could spell management, but I can't, but thank God we have speller check. Under risk management, for example, be sure to have the seller sign a waiver if the seller declines the purchase of the home warranty on behalf of the buyer. And the reason this is risk management is if a seller is concerned when they sell the property to the buyer that something might break or that it's a little bit older, they can buy a home warranty. But this is one of those things, when it comes to home warranties, it's one of the gifts that I like to give when I sell properties, help someone buy a property, because there's no allergy to it. I'm not worried about whether or not if it's kosher. I'm not worried about a sunset on Friday night or sunset Saturday night, any religious concerns that would cause somebody to put them outside their comfort zone with regards to, and not just their comfort zone, outside the law, because some religions are very intense with the way their belief system is and stuff. So home warranties to me are a great gift, because it's a win-win. In that first year, if anything goes wrong, they have someone come check it. If it's the refrigerator, if it's the dishwasher, it's any of the things, the fan in the ceiling, they pay $50. Someone comes out, they look at it. If they can fit in, what I mean by somebody, it's like it is a professional associated with the insurance company, the warranty company. They'll come out, they'll check it. And then if it can be fixed, they'll fix it. If it can't, then they will actually pay for a new whatever that is to go into the home. And in our house, who's the one client that was my worst client? Me. Who is the one client I didn't buy a home warranty for? That would be me. And so we had to take the heater out, and the gas stove does not work properly. And we did everything else is pretty much okay. But the reality of the situation is, it's like, Kathy Kahn, it would have been $500 for me to do it. And what's the cost of the stove? The stove in and of itself is about $1,200. The heating unit that was in the wall, I don't know how much those things are. The house is very warm. Because we had insulation put in, and it's this little tiny little house is doing great. But what if we hadn't done those things? What if we hadn't thought about all the things that needed to be done to the property? So I think of that kind of stuff when I think of home warranty. And does the seller have to do a home warranty? They don't. There's nothing required of them to do that. When it comes to warranty deed, we're talking about the different types of deeds out there. So in the principles book on page 31, a grant deed must have a granting clause as well as 2 implied warranties by the grantor, the person granting the property, right? As an example, Tiger Woods granted the property to the trust, right? So the grantor has to do 2 things with regards to a warranty deed. Let's say that there was a warranty deed involved in that situation. One is that the grantor has not already conveyed title to another person, and the other is that the estate is free from encumbrances other than those disclosed by the grantor. So a warranty deed is there. He's warranting, as an example, he's warranting that the property has not been given away to anybody else, that the title's going freely to his children, right? And the second thing is that there are no encumbrances, meaning there's no monies, there's no debts associated with that property that have not been disclosed. Now, there could be a debt disclosed, there could be a debt on that property, but there isn't anything being hidden. So I do apologize, because we talked about warranties. I'm like, we'll talk about both. I think that we were talking about a home warranty, but if we were talking about warranty deeds, I want to make sure that we cover both of those things. When it comes to CLUE report, the CLUE report, this is the thing that Raymond was talking to us about, and I Googled it, and thanks to there's a lot of information we go over, guys. So I'm like, I need a refresher. I don't remember the CLUE report, but thanks to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you can get a CLUE report for your home once a year from LexisNexis, which is a really big company. To gain access to the CLUE report, you can call them. You can also go to Bankrate and find information about your property, what to do with a CLUE report, and it breaks down information. How do CLUE reports affect your homeowner's insurance? It's not an inspection. So with a CLUE report, home disasters or mishaps in the past could come to light, but the report should not be the only way you assess risk management. So a CLUE report would be if there's any type of warranties that have been done on, if there's an insurance policy or something else that's happened against the property that's all under the rug, that information would come up with regards to what has been, sorry about that. What has been done on the property. So it's basically like a rough review in the area to see if anything has been done. And why would you do that? Well, if people have had a massive flood on the property and then they clean up the property, paint it, and sell it to you, and then mold starts growing through the walls, you would be able to know whether or not there was some type of disaster that was done to the that happened on the property prior to you getting it. And if something like that does happen, they have to open the walls and air out the space for a period of time before they can do any of the fixing. I only know that because it happened to a friend of mine. And then when it comes to become a Disney real estate agent, the article, there's other stuff too, but I want to hit these things, and then we can cover some of the other stuff at a later date. Disney is developing a residential community in California. This was as of February of 2022. So it's been a year. So I can put this link in there, but there are development details with regard to this, and it's somewhere here in Southern California, I thought. We enter our second century. We're developing new and exciting ways to bring the magic of Disney to people wherever they are, expanding, yada yada. Let me put this in the chat so you guys can check this out. But anytime I find anything, oh, absolutely, no problem. Thank you so much. Anytime I find anything that's remotely close to real estate, somebody's buying a house, someone's selling a house, there's a divorce, they're splitting the property, if it's famous, infamous, if it's just somebody that you guys might know through movies or TV or music or something, I'll put that in there, because I think that it balances out the understanding of what these things would mean and how they work. Whereas just reading it and it's more theory. I don't know if it's the right way to do things, but it's my way. Let me see what else we had. Now I had a list of other things that we were trying to get done as well, but oh, my aunt, you might let your students know that I would never build another house of any kind myself. All right, so my Aunt Mary wanted to let you know that she's not going to build another house, but Aunt Mary Ann is in her 70s. And I'm going to tell her we love you. Thank you. She must have enjoyed it if she's texting me at 10:35. But anyway, so I have a couple of other things that we have on the list that I didn't get built into the outline. The AERPA-11 is definitely a problem in the book, but I don't have any way of explaining that one other than that the information's not accurate. Database disclosure. So let's do that. Because you had asked about it, Nance, and Stacy as well. When it comes to database, when it comes to where is that information found, database being one word. I looked up database disclosures throughout all 3 books, and the only information I can find, and so sometimes when a question's asked of you on the book, they might throw some information in there. But when it comes to databases, the databases that we work off of are the MLS. The appraisal company has is appraisal 2L appraisal company has a database. They have their own database. We've got the National Association of Realtors. We have the California Association of Realtors that has a different database. There's Megan's Law. That's a different type of database, right? And then there's a number of other things. So when we are disclosing to our clients about databases, and we're basically saying the information is being pulled from multiple places, but I looked up database, California real estate, and nothing specific to just the term database disclosure came up. If you guys can find something, I definitely owe you a cup of coffee. But I didn't want to go without answering that question. And this, let me go back into this one, is the, because this was in the book, the, I'm not aware of what disclosure this is, or document. And the reason that this concerns me is it's not even in my zip forms. So sometimes, so when you go into like your California Association of Realtors, or if you go into the zip forms, which is basically the California Association of Realtors forms, you don't have to have the name of the form. You can have the code, which is this. And I don't have any information, so I am unsure as to why this is in the book. And I have reached out to the powers that be to try to figure that one out. Okay, we did clue, yes, sample preliminary title report. We did not do the preliminary title report. Okay, let me look at that one. Okay, let me see, where else do I have the other Zoom session, live meetings, Buckmaster, Cathedral. Okay, let me, oh, I might have a lot of screens open. Sorry about that. Where is it? 2020 preliminary title report. Okay, so I can put this into our class file. So you guys can see a sample of it. So this is the preliminary title report on the purchase on the property that we purchased, and a preliminary title report will go along with a lot of stuff. Oh, Thank you. She, my aunt, she's kicking the pants, that one. So you'll see, so we've got the preliminary, so we've got Authentic Escrow is the escrow company. The title company information is WFG National Title Company of California in Glendale. And then the title officer. So if I needed to ask him for other information, hey, are there any liens against the property or something along those lines? I could just reach out to Mark. I could do Team Mark too. I could email him and then call him on the phone. When it comes to the escrow company, they're the ones that emailed the information to me and I can get their information. I think it's at the bottom of this page though. No, it doesn't show it. So a preliminary title report. It says preliminary title report right here, property address 5301, and it's actually and a half. One of the hiccups with the property is that there were some issues with editing and grammar. But as you can tell, I'm not great at it either. The APN associated, the APN associated with the property is right here. This information is who to reach at escrow. This is the order number and the reference number. So when we call them, the reference number, I am struggling with the screen. Sorry about that. The reference number is when we call Authentic Escrow, they're like, hey, it's Kathy. I'm calling on reference number 22-3470-JL. This is escrow. When it's the order number, it's usually a title. So they've ordered a title review or the preliminary title report, and that's the order number so that they're aware of what we're talking about. We could also say 5301 Huntington Drive, but it's going to help them because their Mark is working off the system, right? He's typing in the information. You can also give them the APN number and it'll just give stuff. So in response to the above referenced application for a policy of title insurance, the company, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. The printed exemptions and inclusions from the coverage of limitations and risk are attached. Please read the exceptions shown and referred. So the form of policy or policies of title insurance contemplated by this report are the CLTA, the standard, right? Coverage of the owner's policy. And then it has the, I think it has the other one over here. I think it's the next one's on the next page. That's fine. So the estate or interest in the land hereinafter described or referenced is covered by this report is one fee as of parcel 1 and easement as of parcel 2. So when we talk about how do you describe a property or how do you, there's a lot of information in here. So I wanted to be able to give you this. So Exhibit A, legal description. So the property is the land referred to here and below is this. Those portions of lots 19 and 26 of tract number 3898 in the city of Los Angeles, County of Los Angeles, state of California, as per map recorded on book 44, page 22. So when we talk in our book about the description or the legal description of the property, it's not just that part. It goes down, it explains parcel 1, it explains parcel 2, exemption portion of said parcel 2 lying within the lines of parcel 1. This information you do not need to know for the state exam, but it's good just to go, okay, it's parcel 1, parcel 2, no problem. And then here on the next section, we know what the tax year was. We know that the first and second installment of taxes that they were paid was $654 for the first part of the year and $654 for the second part of the year. You can actually click on this and it'll allow you to go, because it's all digital, to the information with regards to the taxes on the property. So see here, it says Los Angeles 2021, 2022 tax roll. So it's actually, the information is legitimate. And it's sending you directly to the information to confirm the receipt of the payment. Let's see what else. So anyway, I wanted to be able to give you an example of what a prelim looked like. End of exemptions, rights and claims of parties in possession. And I think that's, no, there's still a few more pages. So requirements. Statement of information from all parties in the transaction are required. A deed from the spouse of Cassandra Robles of any or any married vesting entity be recorded in a public record. Oh, they gave us the wrong prelim. Such is my life. We still signed it. So Cassandra Robles is actually the owner of the property in front of us. She's the owner of 5301. I think I don't recall getting the wrong one, but that's fine. It's fine. It's still, so it's not our property. Ours is 5301 and a half. It is what it is, but she's still paying her taxes. We're good. Actually, that's the house we saw pictures of that all the windows are boarded up because they had squatters in there. Requirements. She's going to have to break down a deed of the spouse of Robles, if any, or any married vestie. So Cassandra actually is married. So because she owns the property as her sole and separate, there's going to have to be something changed on the vesting that says that she's married. It can still be her sole and separate. That would have to be vested. But anyway, I digress. I wanted to be able to give you an example. I was looking for where it shows where the loan is. That's probably why I couldn't find the information, because I was that detail oriented. I skipped over the fact that it has Cassandra's name on it. Anyway, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is just one of the reasons why escrow, I wasn't 100% happy with escrow, because they actually sent us a prelim for the neighbor. Well, such is life. Okay, sample of preliminary title article about Disney. We did article about Disney. We need to follow up on Raymond. I put the information about Laura in there, but we need to get Laura in here from Eve Capital. What else are we missing? The FEMA map sample. We don't have that. We'll hit the ground running with that one next week then, if that's okay. We talked a little bit about adverse possession. Do you guys have any questions or concerns, or are we good? I think we're good. I do love that dome, Sonia. That's just amazing. That was one thing I wish that my aunt had shared, was that when the person that the architect that made the domes, when he initially talked to them, he was talking about them being completely glass. And so for her to tell me they were made out of 2x4s, anyway, it's fascinating. She's like, that's a hippie house. And I just started laughing at her. I was like, that hippie house, I just remember it being an awesome house. So okay, well, be blessed and encouraged. Stace, we will hit the ground running on FEMA. I think that's the one thing we didn't get on our list of goodies. But it is 7:48. Of course. Oh my gosh. Of course. Are you kidding? We're really in it to win it. We're here to make sure. I'm an email away, and I think I'm a Google voice call away now, because I bought more storage. I didn't realize how close I was on the storage on that one. But have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you guys. I'll see if I can get Laura in from Eve Capital, or Jaime, or somebody else with regards to the other stuff you guys are interested in hearing about, and we'll go from there. Okay. We'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your time. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Okay. Bye.
I will see you Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesday. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.